Plastic bottles are everywhere. Cafeterias, homes, businesses, restaurants, backs of people's cars. There's not one day where you won't see a disposable bottle. But those convenient little water containers that you can use and throw away have a huge environmental impact that most American citizens are unaware of. To understand the true impact of the disposable water bottle, you first have to understand how they are made. Single-use plastic water bottles, like every other plastic product, are made from fossil fuels, typically natural gas or oil. The type of plastic in which these are made from is called polyethylene terephthalate, otherwise known as PET. Producing PET for plastic water bottles requires an immense amount of energy. The average consumer purchases 110 liters of water via disposable water bottles annually. Each bottle requires 7.9 million joules of energy to produce. So, the average citizen's plastic water bottle consumption requires about 869 million joules of energy annually. America, on average, makes enough plastic bottles to bottle 31.2 billion liters of water, which would require 17 million barrels of oil or 106 billion megajoules of energy. That excludes the amount of energy needed to move the bottles by truck, plane, or train to the user. Where else would all that energy come from, you may ask, but fossil fuels? The answer is nowhere. These fossil fuels, typically natural gas or oil, as before stated, are the number one contributors of the greenhouse gas carbon dioxide, otherwise known as CO2. The truth is, the carbon footprint of your disposable bottle is staggering. For every kilogram of PET produced, 6 kilograms of CO2 is released. The U.S.'s bottled water produces over 2.5 million tons of CO2 each year. That excludes any transport of foreign oil or of the bottles themselves.
Every day, one dumpster full of garbage is taken to a landfill from Marquette, but along with it is 88.2 pounds of compostable material that could be put to better use.
7 out of 10 kids that I ask that regularly have cold lunch use Ziploc bags, and all 7 of the kids that use them throw them away in the trash. They do not recycle them.
In order to produce all the Sunday newspapers in America for 1 week, we would have to cut down over 500,000 trees. If the New York Times were to recycle all of the newspapers they produce for one Sunday, they would save over 75,000 trees, which isn't even counting all the other major newspaper producers in the world.
There's a way that you can cut down your CO2 emissions tremendously, and it's very easy. That is, using a reusable water bottle. How can MUHS take one more step towards being greener? The answer? By issuing reusable water bottles to each student. After a survey was sent out, it was revealed that MUHS students, faculty, and staff on average use 2.6 water bottles per week. That comes out to around 100 plastic bottles per school year. And each plastic bottle produces around 426 grams of CO2. On average, MUHS faculty and students produce nearly 106,738.149 pounds of CO2 per school year by plastic bottles alone. The survey indicated that 60.4% of students would use a water bottle given out by the school. We have come up with a basic design and label to put on each bottle. Students, faculty, and staff can write their name and position on a durable plastic sticker that will be issued with each bottle. Each bottle includes the MUHS emblem and motto. These bottles are BPA free and are quite durable. The cost of each water bottle is $3.35. Each sticker only costs 11 cents.
Composting is a process in which organic waste is broken down and reused for its nutrients in products like fertilizer. Composting prevents food waste from taking up space in landfills and uses nutrients that would have otherwise been thrown away. Since food waste is estimated to make up around 20% of landfill mass, a shift towards composting would also reduce the need for constructing more expensive, dangerous, and unpopular landfills. Composting is a very environmentally friendly process, and over time it conserves a significant amount of resources. Composting could be an option for reducing Marquette's environmental footprint. In fact, there's a company based right here in Milwaukee called Compost Crusaders that offers composting services. Compost Crusaders can pick up food waste from the school and bring it to their composting site in Caledonia.
It would be a very smart idea to have a program to recycle these plastic films because these bags are used often in school and most of the time they are thrown away. There are many programs and companies that are more than willing to take the polyethylene at a small cost depending on how much there is. There are companies such as Trax that will use it to make some of their own products.
Also, by recycling one glass bottle, it causes 20% less pollution and 50% less water pollution than what would be produced when making an original bottle from raw materials. Recycling plastic can save twice as much energy as it would burning it in an incinerator. Recycling just one aluminum can run a TV for over 3 hours, or it could save a half a gallon of gasoline. A 60-watt light bulb can run for over a day with the amount of energy saved from just recycling 1 pound of steel. Also, from all of the steel that's recycled in the United States for 1 year, over 18 million homes can be given heat and light.
From the data we collected from 14 garbages in the B&G, we found that 80,547 pounds can be either recycled or composted.
Recycle?
I do, very much.
Do you recycle?
I do recycle.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Do you like recycling?
Of course.
All about the environment.
You think that Marquette recycles?
We have recycling bins. I don't think we do a good job as students or as faculty about actually doing the recycling.
Do you think the school recycles?
They're supposed to recycle, so I assume they do.
Do you think Marquette recycles?
Sure.
Will you be open to the idea of composting uneaten food if it was just as easy as recycling?
Love the idea of composting, even if it's more difficult than recycling.
Would you throw food that you didn't eat in a compost pile if it was just as easy as recycling?
I definitely would, because it's safe for the environment.
Would you throw food on a compost pile if it was just as easy as recycling? Yeah. Would you throw uneaten food on a compost pile if it was just as easy as recycling?
I would, because it's good for the environment and it's easy.
Would you compost if it was just as easy as recycling?
For sure.
Recycling presents itself as a social issue and a religious issue that we as Catholics should care about. Too often, large amounts of toxic waste and materials that could be recycled are being dumped into communities and minorities instead of being recycled. This is known as environmental racism because poorer communities are disproportionately and unfairly affected by pollution and dumping to no fault of their own. We are all bound in our responsibility to the earth and as children of God to care for the earth and each other. Environmental racism goes against this sentiment and against the Catholic idea of being universal stewards for God and against the market high men for others mentality.
Pope Francis has raised awareness for the environment through his encyclical Laudato Si on care for our common home. In this encyclical, he states, "The time for seeking global solutions is running out. We can find suitable solutions only if we act together and in agreement. This means we have to develop an awareness of this situation and work together to fix the injustices we have done to Mother Earth."